All over the world, people encounter things they can't explain. So in this video, we take a look at some mysterious events. This woman had a bizarre encounter while at work. She had this to say: "I'm a 24-year-old woman. I started working at my current job around a year ago. I work in the kitchen at a restaurant and hotel, but ever since starting here I always felt as though something wasn't quite right about the kitchen area. I usually only have experiences when I'm alone cleaning the kitchens. At first I would have a cold breeze near me and nowhere else. Then I noticed my hair would get touched as if someone wanted to play with my hair. I felt arms around my hips as if a child was hugging me from behind. I've had my name called a few times and I was able to see her. She showed herself to me. It was just after Christmas last year and I was the only one in the kitchen at the time. I was getting ready to leave and head home for the night until I saw a small girl standing in the corridor looking at me. She wore a white coloured dress that went down to her knees. She had long dark hair which was partly up in a hair tie. She was pale and had green eyes. She just smiled at me and then disappeared. I didn't feel scared or anything like that. I was shocked but just happy to see her. I've never told anyone about this experience at my work." This person believes her dog may have witnessed something paranormal. They said the following: "I want to share an experience that happened to me. I have a 1-year-old beagle. He's very friendly and never barks or gets irritated by the external environment. Around 3 weeks ago I was watching a movie and lying on my bed. At the time he was sleeping by my feet. All of a sudden I start to feel like I'm being watched by something, and this something is located by my door. While I was trying to understand why I was feeling like this, the dog wakes up in a panic and starts barking. He was barking like he was freaking out. This of course put me on edge, so I started to pray and both the dog and the feeling stopped. After that night, every time I was home I felt like something was odd. I started to notice that things changed place. I intentionally started to put things in a place, go out and find them move somewhere else. I also live alone, so it couldn't have been someone else. Yesterday I came back home and found my dog paralysed in the corner of the room. I thought he had some kind of dog flu, so I decided to take him to the vet. However, when they got there they told me he was fine. When we got out of my apartment he decided to look better. I think there may be something paranormal related inside my house. It's believed that children and dogs are more in tune to the paranormal. Many people have come forward and said that they think their dogs can see paranormal beings. One person said their dog would refuse to go into a room in their house. They found this strange as they said their dog was brave. However, it turned out that while renovating that home they found a Ouija board underneath the boards. They think this is the reason why the dog wouldn't enter. This person kept waking up with strange marks on their body. They had this to say: "For as long as I can recall, I occasionally wake up with scratch marks on my body, but I noticed it started to happen more frequently. A few months back I had a weird bite mark on my thigh. It appeared to be a small bite mark, but it looked like a human bite but the size of a mouse. I brushed it off thinking it was just something weird, but it happened again, but this time it was on my chest. A few days ago I noticed this long scratch mark on my arm. What's weird is that it wasn't there before I went to sleep. It can't be my nails because they're not that long. This is due to my job that requires me to keep them short. It's not just me it happens to, it also happens to other family members. I really don't know what's causing it. I do own a cat but she never sleeps in my room, so I have to rule that out." Another person is experiencing something similar. They said the following: "While living in my old house something strange would happen. I would wake up early in the morning and have these bizarre marks on my back. It looks like 3 scratch lines running down my back. The first time it happened I didn't think anything of it, but after they kept happening I started to get worried. I looked up online and some people suggested it could have been my covers, so I changed my covers but this didn't seem to help. After a week of doing this the marks started to reappear again. After going back online and looking at the discussions, some people suggested it could have been paranormal related. I've never really been someone who takes much notice in the paranormal. I'm not a hardcore believer, but I also think there could be things out there we're not aware of. After telling my friend, he suggested we do a Ouija board. Again, not knowing much about the paranormal, I said yes. This would be something that I would soon regret. My friend arrived at my house on Friday at 9 PM. We had a few drinks and then got onto the subject of the Ouija board. He told me he'd packed one and went out to his car to get it. He told me it was his grandma's and said that it was old. When I saw the board, it did look strange. It didn't look like the toy ones you get nowadays. It looked more dark. However, shortly after we began our session, my friend was the one who took the lead and asked the questions. He started to ask out loud if there is anything in the house. To be honest, nothing really happened during the session. The lights started to flicker, but I put this down to the electric rather than the paranormal. However, a few days after the Ouija board session, things in the house seemed to have got worse. I would notice that objects started moving around the house. For example, I would always put my keys in the same spot so I knew where they would be, but recently I've been finding them in really odd places like behind the TV. I started to see what appeared to be people inside my house. However, I could never make out the details on these people. For example, I have a glass door in my living room, and when I looked through it I could see what appeared to be figures. The scratches on my back also got worse. Instead of happening every couple of weeks, they started to appear almost daily. Never before had I seen people in my house, and now I see these things every couple of days. Every time I see them, it gives me a bad feeling inside. I now have no idea what to do. I've tried contacting people and they suggest I get someone in to cleanse my house. I have no idea where to find someone. I wished I never did the Ouija board, as things have only gotten worse. This person had a strange encounter with something paranormal. They said the following: "I've never been a believer in anything paranormal. I've always thought it was fake, but recently something happened to me and I think I'm now a believer. It happened on a Friday night back in November 2017. I was home alone in the house. Both of my brothers were out and my parents were doing the weekly food shopping. Due to this, they weren't due back for a few hours. At around 8 PM I got bored and decided to run a bath. I go into my bathroom and turn the taps onto tap mode. About 15 minutes later the bath is pretty full, so I lock my PC and get in the bath. I don't do anything, just watch YouTube videos on my phone. Around 20 minutes after getting out of the bath I notice it sounds like raining outside, but I have my bedroom window open and can confirm it was dry. I live in England and it's a typical chilly English Friday night, so I go out onto the landing and I can still hear the rain, except it obviously isn't rain. I then found out it was my shower. This straight away freaks me out and I get a horrible cold feeling on my neck. The hair-raising feeling that people always talk about. I never use the shower head. I never turn the tap to shower mode, and I'm the only person in the house, so I was confused as to why I could hear the shower. I go to the bathroom and open it. As I do this, the shower instantly turns off. I hear this loud clunking sound and assume it's the sound of the water pressure from being opened and closed so fast. I turn the light on and can see the whole room is misty from hot water. I start to freak out as I couldn't figure out why the shower was on. I checked the whole house after this and couldn't find anything. What was odd though is that my budgies were completely fixated on the corner of my living room. I couldn't get their attention. They just sat there heads tilted looking into the corner of the room. I know my mum and grandmother have experienced things in this house. I think this had something to do with the paranormal. So what do you guys make of these stories? And have any of you witnessed anything similar? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.